NBC Monday, the Average Joe grand finale.
I've never felt more pressure.
Will it be the hunk who lives with his parents, or the average Joe who's got one last surprise? He's a millionaire. America's rooting for the Average Joe. The grand finale, NBC Monday at an early time, 9/8 Central.
Next on News Channel 8 at 6, a snowy Saturday in the Northeast turns deadly. And in the Bay Area, we're feeling the chill as well. Plus, some cruise passengers are angry after they walked off their ship in Tampa to find their cars vandalized. And flu shots may be in short supply nationally, but Florida officials say the Sunshine State hasn't run out. News Channel 8 at 6 is next.
One news team
exposes some of hospitals' dirtiest secrets.
If you had known,
I would have not had my surgery there.
One news team
uncovers a system that allows sex offenders to hide from the police.
Do you have any idea where he went?
I have no idea.
One team works with partners, the Tampa Tribune, to break big stories.
News Channel 8 and the Tampa Tribune have spent weeks investigating the industry.
News Channel 8.
On your side.
We could build 10,000 new schools or hire almost 2 million new teachers. We could rebuild our electric grid. We could insure more of our children. George Bush is going to spend $87 billion more in Iraq. But after almost 3 years, where's his plan for taking care of America? The truth is, we're not being led. We're being misled.
The 8 on Your Side Health and Fitness Expo will be in Tampa in late January 2004 and is the area's largest health and fitness event. Call 813-225-2720 for sponsorship details.
I'm Keith Kate. Monday at 5, paralyzing muscles to help ease pain. Find out about this promising new treatment that may help patients with carpal tunnel syndrome avoid surgery. Monday at 5 on News Channel 8.
Because your health matters, we're on your side. We're News Channel 8.
You're watching News Channel 8, the Bay Area's #1 choice for news. Live from the News Center, this is News Channel 8 on your side at 6, Weekend Edition.
Tonight, feeling the freeze. Parts of the Northeast are buried under a blanket of snow, and experts say it could get even worse. Plus, vowing revenge at Florida's Democratic Convention, presidential hopefuls pledge to win the next election. Good evening. I'm Nerissa Prest. Josh Thomas has the night off. We begin tonight with 8 on Your Side storm team coverage. The first major snowstorm of the season is hammering the Northeast tonight. The 1-2 punch of powerful winter weather has blanketed Boston, White Plains, New York, and made a mess of Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington. The storm is blamed for at least 8 traffic deaths. NBC's Michelle Franzen begins tonight's 8 on Your Side storm team coverage.
It is the early winter storm that just won't let up. Dual snow systems that moved up the East Coast made for a wicked white weekend.
It's a surprise to me, you know. I mean, I wouldn't expect for it to come in this early, you know, but we don't control this. You know, we got to deal with it.
Blizzard conditions whipped snow from Pittsburgh to New York to parts of New England. Wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour or higher made for a miserable walk.
It's tough. It's very windy, so I'm getting it right in the forehead here.
Visibility in some areas was as little as a quarter of a mile. It caused flight cancellations at airports and stranded travelers.
Did you get that?
Roadways became sheets of ice. In Brooklyn, a car skidded off the road and over a bridge rail into a canal. The driver and passenger made it out and were taken to the hospital for evaluation. In Connecticut, a tour bus overturned. Fortunately, no one was injured. Snowplows were able to get a head start on clearing roads and parking lots between storms, but workers say they would be out around the clock. The wintry mix, a big mess to some, was a welcome wonderland to others.
I think snow is awesome. Anybody who doesn't love the snow is a wimp.
Good morning! Even die-hard runners in Central Park didn't cancel their 6-mile race. Like it or not, this storm has given the East a bitterly cold taste of the long winter ahead. Clearing all of this snow from the roadways here in New York City is not an easy or cheap task. For every inch of snow that falls, the city estimates it costs $1 million to have it removed. In New York, Michelle Franzen, NBC News.
The blast of winter weather is also slowing down air travel in and out of the Bay Area. We checked at Tampa International Airport just a short time ago. A spokesperson tells us about a dozen flights have been canceled and another half dozen are delayed. To check your flight before heading to the airport, just log on to TBO.com. Under links we mentioned, click on Tampa International Airport flights. The tail end of the system is sweeping south, and folks here are also feeling the chill. Tonight, temperatures are expected to fall even further. Meteorologist Jennifer Hill continues tonight's 8 on Your Side storm team coverage. Jen?
Yes, we're going to have a very cold night. Thankfully, we're not dealing with all the snow that they're dealing with up north, but our temperatures tonight are going to be quickly dropping, especially now that the sun has set. 51 degrees at Tampa International Airport. Winds out of the northwest at 18 miles an hour. So if you walk out the door right now, the feel-like temperature is around 40 degrees because of that wind chill. Around the rest of the area, 50 degrees in Brooksville, 52 in Sarasota, 55 in Bartow, 55 in Winter Haven. Very strong winds are coming out of the northwest, and that's why it feels so cold outside. But overnight, we will feel those winds start to drop. That means temperatures are going to chill down very quickly. Near freezing in Inverness and Brooksville. There is a freeze warning up for Levy County, but we are thinking that areas in Citrus, Hernando, also parts of Pasco County could see temperatures near freezing tonight. So if you live in an area that usually gets temperatures near freezing, you might want to cover some of your plants. Make sure your animals are okay as well. And then tomorrow, we do have more sunshine, and it will be a warmer afternoon. I'll have more on that, along with Tropical Storm Odette and what's happening in the Northeast in just a bit, Nerissa.
Okay, thank you very much, Jen.
Sure.
Now for an 8 on Your Side Voice of the Voter report. Nearly all of the Democratic presidential candidates are taking the stage this weekend for the party's state convention in Lake Buena Vista. Each will make their pitch to delegates in an important bid to build early support. News Channel 8's Peter Bernard joins us now from Disney's Coronado Springs Resort, and that's near Orlando. And Peter, Florida is considered the largest swing state in next year's election, making this weekend very important, right?
Oh, yes, and the Bay Area is very critical. Bay Area voters have correctly predicted the winner in Florida all the way back to 1980. The halls here are filled with a lot of good old-fashioned politics, and many out here are hoping to just reshuffle the deck. You can't accuse the Democrats of lacking enthusiasm. Delegates are trying to outshout, out-yell, and generally do whatever they can to get attention for the candidates they've come to support. The theme heard from Democratic hopefuls, plenty of Bush bashing. Some observers say Congressman Dick Gephardt gave the speech of his life.
And he doesn't have a clue. He only has one idea in his head, if he has one. And it's tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans, that he follows by tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans, that he follows by... He's got to go.
Democrats are aware of Florida's importance in 2004. The game plan here seems to be who will rise to the top. Without a straw poll, it could up being a matter of perception. This delegate says retired General Wesley Clark is the man to take on the Republicans.
Bush barely won, and most people will even contend that he didn't win in Florida. So, yeah, I think Clark is the only candidate that can actually beat Bush in Florida.
Delegates are forming opinions about what needs to be done within the party to re-energize them.
We had a lot of wishy-washy last year, last election. People trying to out-Republican the Republicans, and that's not going to do it this time.
Candidate Wesley Clark has a number of supporters on hand who believe the party would best be led by a man with his background.
This is where this problem and this threat to our democracy began 3 years ago. And this is where we're going to settle it 1 year from now.
And candidates wasted no time attacking Bush's foreign policy, specifically the Iraqi war.
Never should any young American ever have to go abroad and give their life because of America's dependency on fossil fuel oil.
Political analyst Dr. Susan McManus says Florida Democrats desperately want to win in Florida and are pulling out all the stops to do so.
I heard one delegate say to a friend, she says, when I arrived, I didn't really sense an overwhelming sense of optimism, but what I smelled was dogged determinism to beat the president in 2004.
And many delegates may have arrived with one candidate in mind that they intend to support. Democratic leaders are putting the word out that if they're going to win in Florida, everyone has to get behind whatever nominee is selected. Tomorrow, the Senate race will be the highlight out here. Nerissa?
All right. Well, Peter, when delegates leave tomorrow, will there be definite winners and losers from this weekend's proceedings?
Well, maybe in people's minds, but they're not going to take a straw poll out here. So essentially, it's just going to be the perception, as I said in the story. So when they leave here tomorrow, it's just going to be what people feel as they leave. There's not going to be any kind of straw poll, no kind of gauge as to who's the winner or a loser, but they do want to get someone that's going to beat George Bush in 2004.
All right. Thank you very much, Peter. Peter Bernard reporting for us from Lake Buena Vista. Now, according to a recent Mason-Dixon poll, if the 2004 Democratic primary were held today, 21% of Floridians would vote for Senator Joe Lieberman, 17% would vote for Howard Dean, and 14% would choose Wesley Clark. Congressman Dick Gephardt received 11% support, followed by Senator John Kerry with 6% and Al Sharpton with 4%. Senator John Edwards, Representative Dennis Kucinich, Carol Moseley, Braun rounded out the field. 23% are undecided. The poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 5%, and we should also point out a recent Miami Herald St. Petersburg Times poll showed President Bush 6 points ahead of a generic Democratic opponent in Florida. Now, in an 8 on Your Side crime tracker report this morning, dozens of vacationers returned from a 7-day cruise to some unwelcome news. While they were at sea, crooks smashed their car windows and ripped them off. The break-ins happened Thursday at the long-term parking garage near the Port of Tampa. It's not the ideal way to top off your vacation.
You're back home, stress starts all over again.
These passengers ended their 7-day Nordic Empress cruise this morning, only to get some bad news.
You know, you pay almost, $70 to depart, 7 days, and you expect somebody to be watching. You don't expect to come back and have your truck broken into.
Jason Edmondson is just one of some 30 cruise passengers who had their cars broken into while they were gone.
Well, they told us about 30 minutes before we got off the boat, so I just found out this morning. So this is the first time I heard about it, and so here we are. Got a 13-hour drive back to Charlotte.
Burglars smashed car windows, stole cash and radios.
It's real disappointing, to find out that the car has been broken into.
Well, the cruise was real nice, but it's a shame to have to come back and face this, that's for sure.
Oh, I think it's rotten.
We got some insurance forms and all that other stuff for you.
Most passengers wondered why their cars weren't protected. This Port Authority spokesperson says they have 24-hour roving security in the garage.
Well, we built this garage to be very secure. It's fenced, it's gated, it's well lit. But no matter how intense security is, a determined criminal can always find a way into anything, even Fort Knox, I guess.
Drivers got a letter on their car from the Central Parking Corporation saying Tampa police is working the case, and Port Authority officials say they've already made some security enhancements.
So if there's a silver lining in the cloud, the security of the facility is even tighter than it was before.
As for passengers, they tell us they'll still cruise, only next time they'll think twice about where they'll park their ride.
I don't know, I'll think twice about coming in my vehicle. Find somebody else to drive me down here.
Port Authority spokespeople tell us the passengers will be reimbursed for parking fees. The port will also replace broken glass and pay for some mechanical repairs. There is a flu outbreak in more than a dozen states, and vaccine makers say they're all out of flu shots. But that doesn't mean you're out of luck. Calming flu fears in an 8 on Your Side medical alert.
There's nothing like getting delicious Florida gift fruit for the holidays. It's the perfect way to warm up family and friends all over the country. And a sweet way to say, I'm thinking of you. It's the gift that's not only from the heart, but good for it too. Send your loved ones a little piece of pure Florida sunshine. You'll be glad you did, and so will they. Remember, when you can't mail a hug, send a squeeze.
Domino's Philly cheesesteak pizza? Guys love Philly cheesesteak. Guys love pizza. That's why Domino's created the new Philly cheesesteak pizza. Buy a medium Philly for $9.99 and get any second medium for just $5 more. Hit the door. It's Domino's new Philly cheesesteak pizza.
You don't want to do that.
This time of year, the spirit of giving is in the air, especially at Mitsubishi's national sales event. We're giving no-interest financing on all 03s like the rugged Montero Sport. Or get a clearance deal on the 03 Outlander. Starts under $17,400 after factory cash back. In fact, you could get up to $4,000 factory cash back on select 03 vehicles. And every Mitsubishi comes with an incredible warranty. It's Mitsubishi's national sales event. Only at your Mitsubishi retailer.
Airwick's Nightlight Scented Oils come in great scents like Plumeria and Wild Rose, and a rather fun nightlight. Nightlight Scented Oils from Airwick. This holiday, transform your home with Airwick seasonal scents and designs. Try Electrosol Gel Packs, an advanced gel detergent that dissolves quickly for a deep clean that makes dishes sparkle. Electrosol Gel Packs, dishwashing made for the 21st century.
Closed captioning brought to you by
Belts and Ruth, a law firm representing victims of automobile accidents. Call today for a free appointment.
In an 8 on your side medical alert, one of the earliest flu seasons in a quarter century is draining the supply of vaccinations nationwide. But health officials here in Florida say the Sunshine State has not run out of the shots. According to the Centers for Disease Control, a total of 13 states are facing an unusually severe flu outbreak, and so far Florida isn't on the list. The two main U.S. manufacturers of flu shots have shipped out all their vaccines and can't make more in time for this season, but Florida health officials say the state should be fine since there are double the amount of shots on the shelf this year than last year. In our Iraq Watch, the U.S. Secretary of Defense is busy touring Iraq tonight. Donald Rumsfeld arrived in Kirkuk today, where he ate breakfast with American troops. Rumsfeld is taking a first-hand look at the political and military conditions of post-war Iraq. He also visited Iraq's northern oil fields and met with U.S. Civilian Administrator Paul Bremer. U.S. soldiers shopping at a complex in the Afghan city of Kandahar narrowly escaped a bomb blast today. Claiming responsibility, the Taliban says the explosion went off early in front of a hotel in the city's main commercial district. About 20 Afghans were hurt and 6 shops were destroyed. Drivers had to take a detour today on an Ohio interstate, and that's because of a serial shooting investigation. Detectives scoured a stretch of I-270 near Columbus for 2 hours this afternoon. Shots were fired on or near that road a total of 14 times. A bullet killed one woman as she rode in a car last month, and since then, a house and a car were also hit. Commuters from Brandon to Tampa will soon have a new route into town. Today, Hillsborough officials celebrated the ceremonial grand opening of the Brandon Parkway. The 3-mile stretch will open to traffic on Monday, and right now it begins at Lumsden Road and heads west toward Westfield Shopping Town, Brandon. Eventually, the parkway will take drivers over I-75 onto the Leroy Selman Expressway. As we told you, winter's first major storm has already dumped inches of snow in the Northeast, and more could be on the way. Meteorologist Jennifer Hill joins us next with the latest on the winter blast, plus a look at our own major cool down.
Come to the gigantic holiday sale at Rec Warehouse. Designer billiard tables from just $7.99. Save big on foosball and air hockey tables. Family-size spas from $8.99. Hurry for holiday delivery. 0 interest till 2005. Only at Rec Warehouse.
Whoa, Chicago-style deep dish. Yeah, from Chicago. Yeah. But this is Tucson. How much was that delivery charge?
DiGiorno deep dish Chicago style. Deep in toppings, deep in cheese.
Chicago, Tucson. It's still hot. Marcia?
It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. Look for all our great DiGiorno pizza varieties, including deep dish, this week at Albertsons.
You want real action? Come play America's favorite hot machines at the all-new Seminole Casino Tampa. Real games, real close. Visit Seminole Casino Tampa every Tuesday through December 23rd, and you could win an incredible 2000 Ford Lexus IS 300. Plus, you can also win $500 every hour from noon to 9 p.m. Cars, cash, and the hottest machines at the all-new Seminole Casino Tampa. Now that's real excitement.
Since 1946, Easter Seals has helped children with special needs achieve independence. As a child, Wayne Smith was diagnosed with spina bifida. His family turned to Easter Seals.
Easter Seals helped me to get into the mainstream of life. Otherwise, I would have been left behind.
Partners like Century 21 make Easter Seals a special place for special needs. To help the Century 21 system and Easter Seals create solutions that change lives, log on to TampaBayC21.com.
Swim year-round with a high-efficiency pool heater from Recreational Factory Warehouse. 5-ton high-efficiency pool heaters with a 5-year warranty, just $18.88. 0% interest, same as cash financing. Only at Recreational Factory Warehouse.
And Jennifer Hill joins us now with the weather. Let's talk about this cold weather. All of a sudden, we were waiting for cold weather, and we sure got it.
And we just got slapped with it, yes. And
freezing.
I was checking the temperatures at the top of the hour. Well, they've dropped even more. With the sun setting, we're just going to feel those temperatures falling throughout the night.
I need to buy some socks. I forgot where all my socks are.
Socks are good, sweaters. How about the electric blanket? If you look outside right now, you can see things are quiet. You would never know just how cold it is and how strong the winds are. But tonight, the winds will start to decrease. So at 9 o'clock, we're looking for temperatures to be in the 40s. And in the morning, in the 30s. 39, the forecast low in Tampa, up north near freezing. So right now we're sitting at 48 degrees. Dew point is 38. Wind out of the north at 9 miles an hour. Last hour, the winds were at 18 miles an hour. So the winds are starting to decrease. Burkesville's now dropped down to 46 degrees. 52 in St. Petersburg, 55 in Bartow, 52 right now in Lakeland. But as we go down south to where it's warm, there's some trouble happening. This is Tropical Storm Odette. You can see it making landfall right now on Hispaniola. Dominican Republic and Haiti share this island. And we have the coordinates for the storm: 17.5 north, 71.8 west. Right now it's moving north-northeast at 7 miles an hour. But as you see, as it makes landfall in Hispaniola, that's going to weaken the storm because of the high terrain there. It's going to become a tropical depression, and then when it gets over somewhat warm waters, it's going to go back into a tropical storm, just kind of moving off into the Atlantic. So that's not really a factor in our weather. But because of the storm, there are a lot of watches and warnings up. We have a tropical storm warning up for Hispaniola and also a tropical storm watch up for the southeast Bahamas, and that does include the Turks and Caicos. But our weather, it's going to be downright cold in the morning. Winds are going to die down. We're going to get a lot of radiational cooling. Temperatures dropping enough in Citrus, Hernando, even parts of Pasco County that we could see some areas dropping down to about 32 degrees. So tonight, if you have any tender plants and you live in an area that usually gets cold, you might want to bring those inside and make sure the animals are somewhat warm. But by the afternoon, it will get a little bit warmer than it was today. Highs reaching the mid-60s with plenty of sunshine and the winds not quite as strong as they were yesterday. So here, look at the forecast lows. Near freezing up north, 30s. Upper 30s, though, in the inland areas and along the beaches in the lower 40s range. So very cold night ahead for the area. Forecast highs, though, will be warm, right around 65 degrees here in Tampa, mid-60s and a little bit warmer inland. Lots of snow to talk about up north. They're expecting maybe a foot of snow just north of Manhattan and up into New England. Some areas receiving up to 2 feet of snow in the area. So we, of course, have our cold weather here, but it's not as bad as it is there. Tomorrow morning, starting out very cold, but by the afternoon up to the mid-60s. Monday morning, still on the cool side, but warmer. By the afternoon, up to 70. Next cold front comes through on Wednesday, but as you can see, not quite as cold, with temperatures only coming down to about 52 for Thursday.
Okay, so a lot of people breaking out their jackets.
That's right.
Okay,
stay warm.
Thanks a lot, Jen. Dave's next with sports.
That's all there is to it. With Buy Owner, you simply show the home, we send the buyers, and they're serious buyers.
And best of all, no one pays a real estate commission.
With you and Buy Owner, it's as good as sold. Thanks, Buy Owner.
Wow, they smell great. Oh, they're beautiful. Would you get a dozen? Yeah.
I just love how fresh they are.
Did someone bring a bouquet?
Actually, it's more like a bouquet.
There's nothing like the smell of freshly prepared, freshly cooked KFC. And right now, pick up a holiday meal with all the fixings and get a large popcorn chicken free.
Like I'd buy flowers.
For kitchen fresh chicken, you got a KFC What's Cooking.
WFLA and the Tampa Tribune are wrapping the magic of Disney and the joy of the season into one holiday package. You could win passes to holidays around the world and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Even a downtown Disney shopping spree to enjoy the Festival of Seasons, plus a Disney resort stay. To enter, watch for an entry form in the Tampa Tribune or send a postcard to Share the Joy, P.O. Box 191, Tampa, Florida 33601.
Share the joy of Disney traditions.
We had a little get-together, so we called our old insurance company.
We told them we needed 2 tow trucks and 2 rental cars.
I know!
no, we only have one policy.
You get what you pay for.
That's when we switch to Nationwide. And we can work over the phone, over the net, or with an agent who really understands.
She understands it was your fault.
Nationwide is on your side.
Contact the Tally Insurance Agency for all your insurance needs.
Thank you for doing business with the most insurance agency here in Tampa.
Flu is in the air, and if you're 65 or older, you simply can't afford to catch it. Don't take a chance. Get a flu shot. Make an appointment with your doctor or county health department.
Okay, it's chilly. It's a good day to talk about indoor sports.
That's
good day
right.
to do indoor sports.
Exactly. Basketball being one of those, and get inside, sweat a little bit, open the pores, something like that.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, I think about these things.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's been a pretty busy week for the #2 team in the nation. Today's game against Stetson is the third game in 5 days for Billy Donovan's club, all against in-state opponents. We go to Gainesville for the highlights. There you see Billy the Kid, no problem with the Hatters today. First half, David Lee starts the break. Matt Walsh, one of his 8 assists to Benel Colas for the Jam. Florida off and running on top, 7-0, led by 12 at the break. Second half, more the same. The Gators spread the floor. Christian Dreyer buries a 3, 44-28, Florida. But the big star this afternoon would be Anthony Roberson, the sophomore. Got the stroke from outside, thank you very much. He had a game-high 18. And we've got more Roberson later on. This time coming up with the steal. Nice spin move. The foul and the basket. Yeah, Florida's impressive. They roll by 20. Now, like the Gators, Florida State has tipped off the season in style. Now, if the Seminoles could beat Fairleigh Dickinson, they'd improve to 7-0 for the first time in 15 years. Florida State, Tallahassee, our next stop on the basketball train. There you see Leonard Hamilton. The Noles on a 9-0 run to take control early on in this one. First half, look at the big man. Alexander Johnson with the steal and jam. Noles on top by 9. But then more drama at the end of the first half. Tim Pickett.
Cross at half court.
You got to believe it.
The shot.
It's going. You got it. His third 3 of the half. 43-23. Florida State at the break. Pickett with a team-high 15 this afternoon. But we've got some pretty good highlights in the second half as well. Von Wafer flying high for the Jammage. He had a career-high 13. Florida State now 7-0, rolling 83-46. However, the news is not so good for USF. As we go to the scoreboard, Nebraska takes out the Bulls 75-52. They shot just 32% from the field and just 2 for 19 from three-point land. That's not going to get it done. There's your final. Huskers by 23. Now a little football for you, and the Bucks arrived in the Big Easy today as they continue preparing for tomorrow's game against the Saints. Now the 5-7 season coming on the heels of the Super Bowl has been tough on everyone in the organization. Now I spoke with Booger McFarland earlier this week and asked him how he's grown as a player in the midst of all the turmoil.
Tremendous amount, because it's easy to show up and play during the good times and when everything's rolling. But it's been fun for me. Even though we haven't been winning, it's been fun just because last year was a tough year for me, having 2 surgeries, broken arm, broken foot. It's just been a blessing for me to come out and practice every day and go out and play in the game and just continue to get better each day. I said a long time ago when I came here, my goal is not to be was not to be great then, it's to be great when I leave. Yeah. And that's what I'm working toward.
And you can see more of my interview with McFarland tomorrow morning at 11 during our live 1-hour Bucks Bonus pregame show. J.P. Peterson and Dan Lucas split hosting duties. They'll be joined by Doug Draper, Ian Beckles, and our coverage partners from the Tampa Tribune. That's right here on News Channel 8, your official Bucks station. Now, not only are the Lightning stuck in a 6-game winless streak, the team hasn't exactly been lighting the lamp lately because Tampa Bay has scored just 8 goals in its last 7 games. Tonight, the Bolts will try to snap out of it against Buffalo as they begin a tough stretch with 6 of their next 7 on the road, and we will have plenty of highlights for you tonight at 11.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
And you too, Jen.
Thank you. She doesn't want to be left out.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll be right back.
Domino's Philly Cheesesteak Pizza? Guys come running for Domino's new Philly Cheesesteak Pizza. Buy a medium Philly for $9.99 and get any second medium for just $5 more. Get the door. It's Domino's new Philly Cheesesteak Pizza.
It's here. Mitsubishi's year-end clearance, where you can get no-interest financing on new 2003 and select 2004 Mitsubishis. And they all come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty with roadside assistance. Plus, pay 0 interest for 60 months on our newest SUV, the Endeavor. Great cars, great warranty, great clearance deals.
Since 1946, Easter Seals has helped children with special needs achieve independence. As a child, Wayne Smith was diagnosed with spina bifida. His family turned to Easter Seals.
Easter Seals